Hey, ¿cómo estamos aquí de vuelta? Rash Gameplays en un nuevo video. Y esta vez vamos a reaccionar, o sea, voy a reaccionar con emoticonos y con mis palabras del nuevo parche que se viene para Smite. Este nuevo parche trae un nuevo dios que se llama Arthur, el King Arthur, el de las leyendas de la espada Excalibur. Ahí está él aquí, por cierto. Pero bueno, vamos a ver el parche porque se ve muy bueno. No lo he visto bien el completo, vi una parte, pero pues hay que verlo, así que voy a reaccionar a ello, espero que les guste y vamos a explicarlo después. Va, sale, vamos a empezar con el video. Entra la intro primero. Vamos a darle. Okay. Entonces, o sea, según yo no sé por qué lo pusieron a él, porque él no es un dios, pero pues es un personaje ficticio poderoso, ¿no? Pero pues, no sé, igual es el dios 99. Después el otro dios que viene es este.
Shells, jingle shells,
jingle while we play.
Oh, what fun it is to see
The enemies run away. Hey!
jingle shells, jingle shells, jingle every day. Oh, what fun it is to have
A skin for the holiday. Ooh.
Happy holidays!
And if that wasn't awkward enough, you've also got me in a Christmas sweater. Welcome to the 5.24 patch note show. It's going to be called Wielder of Excalibur, shockingly enough. Apologies for the delays, but first of all, happy holidays. And as you saw from that video, make sure you get your Jingle Shell skin of Cousin Bo by playing one game of Smite, and everything will be good for you. We've got a lot to cover here today, however. Bit of God balance going on, no real items this week, a new event, and of course, the reveal of Excalibur. Excalibur? Well, he's going to be in the game as well, but King Arthur, wielding Excalibur, will be available during this patch note show. We'll get to see all about him. Just a quick update, there will be no skin showcase this week, but I can walk you through the skins, however, and show you them off in game real quick. And the first one up on the list of skins this week is going to be Cosmic Conqueror Hercules. Oh yes, the void feel is still there, and Hercules is going to be wielding it for himself too. It's a little bit of a look at him in game. As we said, there'll be no skin section at the end today. There will be a special show next Thursday, or Thursday coming up after Christmas, to show off all the skins for a 2-hour peak. After Cosmic Conqueror Hercules, we've got Brimstone Cerberus that's also going to be available as well. Well, he is from towards the gates of hell, and there's lots of lava involved there. I'm excited to see how this will look in game, and there he is, the handsome Pupperino, coming to you in this patch. Not only that, we'll have Glacial Gaze Medusa is up after that one too. Wow, that is an amazing looking card art as well. Is that... It looks like a bow. It is a bow, but obviously it looks like a nasty looking hook that she's got. Oh my. There she is in the Gold Fury pit for your viewing pleasure. After her, we're also going to have in this patch Dragon Keeper Discordia. Oh my god, what is that pet? I don't really like things that are nice in general, and I don't really get cutesy very often, but that is a very cutesy little thing. Oh my. Okay, that's Discordia, and that's going to be in the patch as well, Dragon Keeper Discordia. It really is a little cute dragon. And last, but certainly not least, is Blight Guardian Athena. She will also be available in the patch, and I'm looking forward to seeing her as well. Just a reiteration, one more time, there will be no skin section in this patch. Tune in next Thursday, just after Christmas, for a 2-hour special to showcase all the skins. But for now, it's time to move swiftly along to the balance section. AJ and F. are standing by to run us through the changes this week.
What's good, folks? I'm not sure if it's a Smash stream, but we're going to smash it anyway. What's good? I'm Tom, here with AJ. First of all, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you did laundry for once.
Oh, yeah, new shirt. Well, it doesn't even look like I did laundry because my new kitten's hair is all over it, but, you know.
Important information. What's the kitten's name?
Well, I have two, Charlie and Quinn. They're adorable.
Well, that is the best note to start balance on,
yeah,
I think. So, you know, we roasted AJ for the Amo hoodie, and then we talked about cats. I think everybody's happy.
Check them off the list.
So we'll see you later, guys.
All right, yeah.
No, but you know what? Let's just get into it.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff today.
God balance, Arachne buff. I'm just going to say that, let it sink in. All right,
Look
now
how
let's get
surprised
to it.
I am.
Yeah, no, Arachne buff. We're touching the ultimate, which is really interesting. So, Nightcrawler, Arachne now creates a 25-foot radius of web that lasts for 5 seconds. Wherever she lands. So you're up here, you jump down, and then there's a giant web. It doesn't stack with the web from the 3, though.
Correct. So what this is an extension of that web. And I talked about this a little bit on my AMA. Arachne has actually had pretty good stats for quite a while, but there's an impact issue here where she doesn't feel good to play, or she feels like she's missing, or she's too linear.
Sure.
She does that 1v1 like outbox you really well, but then like nothing else, and that kind of feels unfun. So really what we wanted to do was give her a little bit more ways to influence a team fight. So what you're going to see here is Arachne being encouraged to use her ultimate as a way of engaging, or a way of disrupting a whole backline. Instead of just picking one character out, she has a possibility of slowing multiples. She'll get that bonus movement speed and people will move slower as if they were webbed. If you then shoot your spiders at them while you're already on that, it's not going to double the effects, but you can get them hitting with the spiders as well. Give Arachne players a little more flexibility in the way they play, or give them more control over the way they control the game.
Actually, team fight applicable. It's interesting, I noted this about Vamana, where the Vamana buff last time was really, it seemed like a modernization of the character, where like the game has changed since he came out, and so he has to change. Arachne, I think this allows her, a lot of the gods right now that you want to jungle with have a team fight application. She kind of didn't, so I think this kind of modernizes her. That lasts for 5 seconds wherever she lands. You're up here, you jump down, and then there's a giant web. It doesn't stack with the web from the 3, though.
Correct. So what this is an extension of that web. And I talked about this a little bit on my AMA. Arachne has actually had pretty good stats for quite a while, but there's an impact issue here where she doesn't feel good to play, or she feels like she's missing, or she's too linear.
Sure.
She does that 1v1 like outbox you really well, but then like nothing else, and that kind of feels unfun. So really what we wanted to do was give her a little bit more ways to influence the team fight. So what you're going to see here is Arachne being encouraged to use her ultimate as a way of engaging, or a way of disrupting a whole backline. Instead of just picking one character out, she has a possibility of slowing multiples. And she'll get that bonus movement speed and people move slower as if they were webbed. If you then shoot your spiders at them while you're already on that, it's not going to double the effects, so you can get them hitting with spiders as well. Give Arachne players a little more flexibility in the way they play, or give them more control over the way they control the game.
It's interesting, I noted this about Vamana, where the Vamana buff last time was really, it seemed like a modernization of the character, where like the game has changed since he came out, and so he has to change. Arachne, I think this allows her, a lot of the gods right now that you want to jungle with have a team fight application. She kind of didn't, so I think this kind of modernizes her, if you will.
Yeah, and I've been playing against that Vamana. He's scary. Oh, that big boy. He comes at you.
Nothing's stopping him.
No.
That's not happening.
Arachne,
she'll be stopped, but she'll be moving 40% faster. Kind of interesting there. This one, you need to talk about this one, because I am a little scared.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk to me about it. Hell is getting a buff. Okay. So her switch stances, the dark stance power buff she's getting is going up 10 across all ranks. So it used to be from 20 to 60, now it's 30 to 70. And the light stance protection buff is going to go up. Early game and the end game it'll be the same. So early game used to get next to nothing, 2.5 prots. Now,
hello darkness, my old friend.
so in retrospect, not so scary.
I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was.
Madre, espera, ¿acaso me cierra la boca? ¿En serio? ¡Que te corto en dos!
Gato, tu cola.
¿Qué tiene mi cola? ¡Oh, sí! Que me la he rebanado. Y eso es interesante porque... ¡Hijo de todo! No te muevas, bebé.
2000 años más tarde.
A ver, vamos a comprobar que ya está grabando esto. Ok, chido. Bueno, regresamos. Hubo un error ahí, es que me llamaron. Ok, vamos a ver qué pex.
Right, so that was one of the main reasons.
¿Qué pedo? Bufo, en su protección.
Saw some very strong
¡Qué mierda!
plays early in the season, and then kind of dropped.
Yeah!
Relatively
Ya,
lone.
va a
It's
estar
rewind time.
fatal.
You know, if I could control rewind, I would want it to be an actual rewind.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there.
Year review! Rewind time, everybody!
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh?
You go the way you have to notify the
Rewind time, everybody.
Lasagna, bitch, lasagna. This series ain't nothing but a bitch. Lasagna, bitch, lasagna, bitch.
Rewind time, everybody.
Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot.
It's rewind time. Rewind time, everybody. We're forgetting something. I think we should read what the comments actually says. Rewind time, everyone.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Seriously? You just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy.
Here for you before they're gone. Who is Marshmallow? Hey, Vsauce. Michael here. No! I'm how to bet!
Attention, all epic Fortnite gamers. Ninja, he's in grave danger, and he needs your help.
Hey! What does this one say again?
Subscribe to PewDiePie for original content.
Whichever will it be? Set the fuck down, TC Reese. I'm here to spill the real tea.
There's one thing this video needs.
But you're in the air, you lose.
Y'all can't afford things like Lil Tay. I wears a belt.
Yeah, if I control Rewind, I would want Fortnite and Marquez Brown.
Is this what you wanted?
Fuck you say to me!
You have to be kind of a sociopath.
Bitch!
Oh, that's hot.
Bitch!
That's hot.
I feel like this was a stupid hackaway.
Oh, do you think this is a joke?
You're heating up your breakfast when I'm heating up my dinner.
All I ever wanted to be. And you believe it if you do this inside of anything.
Attention all libtards. Now Ben Shapiro wants to know my location.
Okay, that was epic. Next meme.
Sí. Ajá, el Typhoon que vale verga, pinche Typhoon, puta madre. Es una real mamada lo que están haciendo, ¿eh? Una real mamada.
Although my body is very limited, my mind is free to explore the universe.
If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it.
A special thank you to all of you, my dear meme friends. Thank you so much.
Ahorita estos tres buffs se me hacen una estupidez, la verdad. ¿Qué chingados está haciendo Hi-Res? Bueno, Titan Forge Games, porque ya ves con Hi-Res. Acá está su nuevo logo y todo, Titan Forge Games. ¿Pero qué te sucede, coño? ¿Por qué lo hacen, güey? Esos dioses ya están rotos, ya están duros. Pero ahorita ya los pusieron más OPs, güey, o sea, super duros, güey. Ahorita van a destruir culos, güey. Van a destruir culos, no mames. ¿No? Ese sí vale la pena.
Rewind time, everybody.
El Techno Rip sí, se tiene mucho culo. Le bajaron, a huevo. Está chido el lector. El lector me parece, güey. Pero sí es cierto, no hay esto, por Dios.
So guys, we did it.
Vamos que no.
Pro player discussions again, like not really finding reasons they really want to pick him over other
assassins.
That's
hot.
Yeah, very we look at it and we go, these are the reasons. This ability is very strong. Yeah. But I believe even back in the day we had some iterations of this with lower cooldown. And after
Todo era antes baneable. Ya no es tan baneable ahora. Pero antes sí le banea mucho a la gente. Hace mucho tiempo.
So this is kind of a reboot. again, like modernization of characters. Like I think there's a lot of characters that have that semi-global ability that Thor used to, and that was unique. Now you got to look through different reasons where Thor is unique, and a long-range stun. That's where it is.
Yeah. I mean, we've completely redesigned the conquest map, right? So there's a lot of things that may or may not have been affected.
Güey, llevan 4 buffs de dioses los primeros 10 minutos.
This is a really
buff?
my style buff. This is Sano was really flashy. This is the other side of games that I really like. Xing-Chan Furious Roar. So the dot duration is, instead of being 1 second, 2 seconds, instead of breaking it up, it's 4 seconds all the time. But to compensate the early parts of it,
me parece, güey, Xing-Chan está muy... Güey, cuando sale este cabrón, cada parche literal, desde que salió, le empezaron a nerfear, güey, cabroncísimo, o sea, le jodían todos sus poderes. No mames, pero le bajaron sus pinches básicos.
And then on top of that, the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, or the Dishwasher,
the
as
best
we like
ability
to say.
name ever.
I actually will disagree. It deals damage. It deals damage to enemies in assault radius, even if you cleanse it. Used to be able to beads and avoid the damage. Not going to be the case anymore.
Right.
Also, he's 25% faster. Yes. So let's talk about this one by one. Furious Roar, this is really cool. Like I said, he's got unique utility here, and this seems like a double down on it.
Right, so similarly the way I was
No sabes que ya voy a ver lo de Arthur, güey, que es lo que importa. Analizar a Arthur. A ver. Vamos a ver qué nepes. Que ver.
Deja que se escuche tu voz cantar.
Todos los nombres, no mames. Pero ¿qué es? No debe ser Warren.
So we really dove into King Arthur's history to start. Legends we could find. There's an ancient text.
Todos decimos te amamos. Te amamos. Dile te amamos, Señor. Te
amamos. And what that really covers is the key points of Arthur that everybody knows, right? He had a Uther was trying to save the British people from
con todo tu corazón, dile te esperamos. Te esperamos.
Defeated the invaders so
Me parece bien la narración de la historia. La leyenda de Arthur.
Long has the legend been told of a great battle king who rose to deliver peace to lands riven by war. By his hand was the bloodshed ceased, and all its peoples united under his reign.
Let's have the miracle.
With his knights he ventured out to safeguard with steel all that he had sworn to protect. But
anyone can pull it once it's been
he had brought began to fray. And others, even the king's own king,
give it all you got.
sought the power to rule. Threatening to turn all that he held dear.
I say we let the boy try.
On his return,
what I say. Give
the
the
king
boy a
beheld
chance.
what had become of his
Go ahead,
realm
son.
and people. He was their guardian, and he bore that oath above all others. The battle raged, sundering fair Camelot as shortly as the king's own bloodline.
It's a
He
miracle
carried the day,
ordained by heaven.
but
This
a
boy
costing
is our
stone,
king.
blood, and soul. In its
thank
wake,
you.
the king
What's the lad's
sets out
name?
upon a new journey.
What? Oh,
But Avalon has called to him,
Hail,
and thou
King
shalt
Arthur!
answer.
Hail, King Arthur! Long live the king!
can't believe it.
Long live the king. And King Arthur is going to be available in a special. Finally, time to get talking about him as we get ourselves towards Game Pom Pom. I want to talk to you guys a little bit first of all, about, as we get into the game, to do with what is Arthur's character going to be all about in the game.
So Arthur is a combo warrior. We really wanted to combo.
You scare me already.
We really wanted to capture the feel of like an action game, a hack and slash. It's something that just like feels really good for our perspective of the game, but we haven't really done before.
Yeah.
Where you're like just chaining these abilities together, using them to cause widespread chaos and damage.
Doing
a whole bunch of just fun stuff. And we also really want to try and capture that feel where like it's really animation driven. When you're doing something, you're like leaping forward or you're taking a step forward, trying to capture that kind of combat feel that we just haven't really done this fight before.
We've got Tyr and Ul, which are like stance changes. RTO as well is a good example. But even though they are combo-esque, they're not as true combo as this feels, right? Is that kind of like there's more direction towards that?
Yeah, so the stance switching capability that he has is a little bit different than we've done before, where it really opens him up to have a unique kind of ability flow. Where most stance switchers, you dump your kit, switch stance, dump your kit. He, after every single ability he casts outside of his ultimate, will swap between standard and combo.
Okay.
So you have 3 standard abilities, you have 3 combo abilities. If you use your 1 standard, you now have access to your 1, 2, or 3 combo abilities. And when you use one of those, you go back to standard. So you can unleash all 6 of your standard abilities in any which way you want.
There's something about a new energy meter I'm reading about here as well. What is this energy meter and why should we be talking about this before we get engaged?
So we didn't get to talk about the ult a little bit, but each of these abilities will build up energy, essentially empowering Excalibur.
Right.
And then once Excalibur has a certain amount of energy, you gain access to either the 35 energy ultimate, which is a nice short hop that he does a little bit of action in. Or you have the 80 one, which is you've been fighting for a long time, you've got a lot of successful hits. You can unleash his 80 power ultimate and like really devastate.
Well, let's get into the game and get our first little look at how King Arthur is going to be in the game, and we'll talk through his abilities as well. So that energy thing is going to be to do with the ultimate. Is just the ultimate? Nothing else?
Yep, just the ultimate.
Okay, so as you're working through your combos, playing this character, you're building up the energy, and then that is unleashed during the ultimate. Depending on how much you've got, it gives you a different ultimate.
Correct.
That's kind of cool.
Right.
I actually thought it was like you just, join the stance things, you use your ult and you get it. But it's actually...
la ult ya tienes que cargar. Su puta madre. Pues está bien, está bien. O sea, entonces sus poderes están más OPs, güey. Ya que no tiene ulti hasta que la cargue.
It does have a very short cooldown of 20 seconds, and that's just to prevent spamming of the lower one.
Sure.
But you can do something like because it has up to 100 energy, you can be at 100 energy, use the ult, use other abilities to quickly build back up to 35 and use the other ult. And often if you're building up enough energy, the time it takes to build up enough energy, you're going to have it off cooldown to use again.
Before we go for the abilities, we need to talk about the basic attacks, first of all, on this list.
Sí, es cierto, ya había visto esto. Vean los básicos, nada más veanlos. Para que se caguen.
Yes,
it is.
So, when we were playing him, he had this really cool action game hack and slash feel, but the basics felt kind of strange, where he was just doing standard basic attacks, he scaled with attack speed, things were just kind of very similar, and it didn't quite feel the same as the other abilities. And so what we wanted to do was make it feel more like an ability, and so we allowed it to, when you're out of range of a target, he will actually charge forward, he'll leap forward to hit enemies.
Okay. So he's got a little bit of movement in this. He's got a bit of a charge, a little bit of a dash that's involved in this. Cass, you were involved in some of this?
Yeah, so basically there's 2 charges going on.
Right.
If you're not near a target, you're actually just going to charge forward. But if you're actually close enough to a target, you're going to start locking onto them.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and so you're going to actually rotate towards them. And one of the cool things, or one of the difficult things that we were able to do with this sort of tech, is normally when you cast an ability, like think like Raijin's One or something.
Eso, voy a hacer daño a todos. 22, son
you play animation, right? That's
3% de daño a los de al lado.
Play this animation.
No mames.
One of the cool things going on with this new tech is there's decision making going on. Rotísimo. Again, charge forward. You're gonna lock on.
Estoy viendo que este cabrón va a ser mi main, cabrón.
Reconcile both on client and server.
Mira este cabrón, güey. Tengo que agarrarlo siempre para masterizarlo y chingarlo,
that way you end up getting this
aprovechar que está feo,
experience on whether or not you're going to charge.
The one thing to mention about this as well, now you can't buy attack speed items on this gun.
Correct.
But if you do buy attack speed items, you do get something out of it.
Yeah, and so attack speed kind of like, it feels like you're trying to get damage out quicker, and so he
bueno, está cargando esta madre, eso es más fuerte hace tu ulti.
So,
which helps towards your ultimate,
yeah, so if you get 60% attack speed, 33% of that is going to go towards your energy gain, and so you actually gain energy 20% faster.
Okay, so that's the basic attacks understood a little bit more in detail.
Polla.
We'll move on to actual
Todo se basa en la energía de Excalibur.
Which is also
we've pretty much been talking about the passive.
Yeah.
All of these things we've been talking about are parts of the passive. The way his stances change, the way he can build attack speed or energy instead of attack speed. But there is one more element to this passive. These all are kind of the core pieces that make this kit feel different. Like we move them into the passive because Arthur has such a unique and different feel to it. That's why his passive feels like it has a lot going on. But we have to have a place where we can convey all that information to the players.
Sure.
So since he is such a unique god, we use the passive for those, just to kind of give you the entire idea. Like, this is a strange god to really look at certain parts just in a vacuum by themselves, because it doesn't play like that at all. Like, it all comes together, and it's so important to think of these abilities as flowing into each other and not just single one-off things.
Okay, now let's talk about the combos before we get into the abilities. First of all, I guess is the best way. Or should we go straight into ability one?
Well, we still have one aspect of the passive still.
Oh, there is?
Which we actually fit all that in the text, and I'm super happy
Good
about
job.
that.
The mitigations?
But does it fit in German?
Mitigations. Maybe.
No, it doesn't.
Probably doesn't fit. But what we do have is something to encourage you to fight, to kind of reward you for doing the playstyle that we're kind of encouraging, which is get in the middle of enemies and really deal a lot of damage and use your abilities in sequence. Is each time you deal damage to a god, you'll get a stack of something called Steadfast, and that will give you damage mitigation, a percentage of that, and it will also increase how fast you're building energy. So the longer you're fighting, the more and more energy generation you're going to get.
Ya dijeron que tiene combos, así que debe tener un dash, güey, para hacer los combos de estos básicos.
And this makes sense from a core perspective of this god, because a god that has a lot of abilities and we want to use all of them, you need to stay in combat for a long time and have time to use those, right? If he did as much damage with 3 abilities as another god, then he would be overpowered. But if he did 8 abilities as fast as another god did 3 abilities, that would also be overpowered, right? So we have an interesting kind of DPS problem to go through with Arthur, which really led us to a lot of design elements that encourage him to stay in the fight and continue fighting and using all of his abilities, but at a pace that you're accustomed to.
Really interesting so far with this. This is the passive meter as well.
Esperemos que sí esté abierto el server.
That's pretty cool. So, first ability then, because we've got a few abilities here.
I feel like even for this guy, before we even go into abilities, we should just have whoever's driving here just go through a bunch of them.
All right.
Like, let's just...
Peckies.
Does Peckies have much Arthur experience here?
No, not terribly.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I would love to see him just, like, slash on an Odin for a minute and just go through, just to get a feel for kind of how the character runs through.
Do some cooldown.
And, no, I don't even think we need to do cooldowns. Cooldowns are low.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's true.
Is he using cooldown sheet right now?
He was using it, and then now he's not.
Okay.
So yeah, just unload on the Odin.
A la puta
Now, as you can see with these... Oh my lord, what was that?
Don't worry, we'll get there.
He's got 2 lockups!
And a stun.
And a stun?
Yeah.
Because for me, going through the abilities one at a time is just strange for this character, because that's not how he ever plays.
Yeah. 6.1 patch notes will have nerfs. I can already see it coming out.
Sí, igual estoy viendo. No mames, está durísimo, güey.
What have you done?
Exacto.
It's fine.
Puta, ¿qué te pasa? Están locos, güey. O sea, esta es la otra parte. Estos son los poderes de Excalibur. Ah, ya se volvió, se regresó a los normales. Es como tipo Artio y esos.
My 1 is like cooldown, but I still have access to my 2 and my 3. Right. And so every time you're always going to be going between standard combo is the flow of the abilities. And so you got to be mindful of that too, because you might want the knockup of the 2 combo that we'll get to in a little bit. Yeah. But you might be in standard stance, so you have to use another ability to get there. And so maybe you can use a gap closer, maybe you can use a slow to help set up that ability.
Gotcha. So you've got to make sure you get the ability available for you in the stance you want and have it off cooldown.
Yep. Right. It really does cause people to find combos that they like. Like every person who's playtested him, I found them liking just completely different things, certain ability orders that they just kind of gravitate towards.
Listen, I just like pressing 3 consistently. If 3 is up, it's being pressed is kind of how it's going to be.
So the thing is, when you hear the word combo in games, there's kind of 2 different designs that come to mind.
Yes.
One is kind of the more classic fighting game combos, which is a long string of inputs that you must input exactly in order to pull off the combo.
Sure.
That is not the type of design we went for with Arthur.
Right.
Now, we have lots of Smite gods. Like when you play Hercules, you always want to pull them, then push them, then ult them, and you always want to do that. That's fine. What we wanted with Arthur was something different. So we designed his combo system in a way that has freedom for the players to choose their order. So all gods in Smite end up having some sort of combo that becomes most popular, and it's very possible that Arthur will have the same. But he has a lot more options, a lot more choices, and a lot more ways to affect the order in which he uses his abilities. And we want players to be able to react to the situation and use them in different ways. And we designed this system specifically to give players that freedom.
Okay, we're gonna have to go for the abilities, though, even though you don't want to as combos. I mean, you understand how the functionality works.
It's just so funny because the way we've been testing him and play testing him, no one says like, "Oh, use your 2 there." We're always like, "Oh, well, you should 3 standard into 2 combo there." Like that's the way we always talk about him, and that's the way we expect players to as well.
First ability in normal stance is going to be called overhand slash. You've seen the cameraman doing it a couple of times. This is kind of a poke tool more than anything else, a bit of a clear tool.
Estas son dos modos. O sea, al final los usa los dos. Usa primero el estándar, después el combo directo lo usa.
No seas mamón. But if you get them in melee range, well, he is swinging Excalibur at an overhead slash.
Yeah.
If they're in melee range, they're going to take 50% increased damage.
Oh wow! Okay.
So you can use it as a ranged poke, or if you actually get in with other abilities of your kit, you can deal more damage directly.
Cool. So that's the overhead smash, and then in the combo stance for the same ability is a sword swipe across, which is
Yep. And that one is a horizontal swipe. It's pretty basic, but it does have some implications with the kit. It's a it's a horizontal slash that kind of like goes low, and it tries to kind of like hamstring them. And it cripples them.
Oh, interesting.
It's a very short duration cripple, but it allows you to do things like use an ability, and then someone who might leap away, you stop that, and then you get to unload other abilities on them.
So not a slow, just a cripple on that.
Just a cripple.
Interesting. Because I expected with hamstring it was like slow. But cripple's really cool.
And the thing is, with these abilities, you'll notice a lot when you're playing Arthur. The way he feels, the way he moves, and the way he animates during these abilities is just different than other Smite gods.
Right.
And this is going to feel very different to different types of players. But specifically for the one, he becomes self-rooted during these. So if our playtester is just walking forward and fires these abilities, he has to stop.
Sure.
A lot of our gods, they can move in all 8 directions while spinning in circles at full speed and shooting things in all different directions. And to us, that just broke down the core fabric of Arthur's design. The way he's intended to feel as an action game character, the animation drives his attacks.
O sea, puede cargar la verga mientras tiene una habilidad, güey. No como los otros dioses, güey, que se pueden mover y tienen habilidades.
Like one of the things we did with the one, we wanted to give him like a little bit of forward momentum.
Oh, la verga.
He's using like a little bit of a mini charge, but he's actually able to turn wherever he wants to while he's charging, which is something we haven't really done before. You know, if you look at like Ardeo or Vamana, right, they have like these slow, reduced turn charges.
Sure.
So with him, he gets that forward momentum and he gets that like animated cinematic feel while still having that full dynamic control over what he's doing.
That's right.
But you can't be strafing in all directions while spinning full speed on Arthur's moves. You're going to have some limitations. You need to, you'll have to really play to the animation.
Okay.
And we'll see that on more of his abilities.
Let's move on to ability 2 then.
Yeah.
The 2 abilities there. First one is going to be called Twin Cleave here.
Nope.
No?
I'm going to Battle Stomp.
You're going right to 3.
I went to 3. I'm so excited.
Yeah, he does like the 3.
Battle Stomp. Tell me about Battle Stomp. Obviously, I'm guessing he's stomping the ground.
Yeah, he stomps the ground and pulses out this kind of magic area that will slow enemies.
Oh, so you slow and a cripple, and a stun, and 2 knockouts.
Mira, el chico es ese, güey.
It's a very close range around Arthur.
Es que puede stunear a todo, o sea, stunear todo y hace todo. No mames, ya valió verga.
A lot of the more CC to your other abilities. Right. So it's low damage, but it slows, which can help you land the overhead slash. It can help you when you go spin on them.
It can help you uppercut.
Yeah, it can help you uppercut. It can do all those things.
The uppercut is the second ability in this combo of the second ability.
Yes.
Right. 2 combo is uppercut. That really sweet little dash into a knockout.
So 2 slow into uppercut. And the uppercut really is just a standard knockup?
Yeah, it's a little bit away, a little bit up. And the nice thing is it can actually, because you're uppercutting in front of you, you get multiple targets in there. It knocks
A la verga.
I love this guy.
It's very close range. Like those Odins are standing very close together. But yeah, if you're in the hit area,
that's kind of what happened at a Golf Fury.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like an action game. If there are a whole bunch of enemies together and you like swipe your sword across, you're hitting all of them.
So already I'm learning from like watching this. Like if I'm playing against Arthur, you don't want to group up. Is what
I'm
feeling. You don't want to be grouped as a team. Okay,
spread out.
So that's uppercut and Battle Stomp, and then we move into what I said a moment
ago. Sí, porque ya con Arthur necesitas estar separados.
Sí, King Arthur unleashes kind of 2 cleave attack, so he'll actually spin twice, and he's charging forward while he's spinning.
Okay.
And this is a really good setup move because both it covers distance, but if you're already on your target, you can use it to actually shred.
Okay, this is normal.
Oh, so as you're getting close, it's quite movement speedy. You can move pretty quick during it. But if you are hitting people, they're going to be shredded.
Yes, so if you actually hit people, so it's a very good gap closer or very good to just increase your damage overall.
Okay, so it's a pretty good for like clearing wave as well. Useful there.
Yeah, especially if like you kind of dash through and like hit the other soul laner, you shred their prot, you're now grouping with the minions, and you're gonna be.
Me gusta el cabrón. No voy a masterizar al diamante, cabrón.
There is no one that's the lane clear. You're gonna need to use multiple abilities, so they all can do part of it.
Because his mana costs are going to be relatively low, I heard, right? To allow it to do this.
So some players we've seen in testing prefer to go to 3 for the lane clear. Some prefer to go to 1. The 2 is more utility, so you generally don't go that first. But you could.
Oh, interesting. Well, because you get more of a slow, I guess. You'll see.
Right, you could if you really just want to focus on boxing out the opponent instead. You could.
Okay, so that's the third ability. But let's go to the Blade Storm, the combo ability of this. Now, what's the difference between this and the other version? Then?
So this one is you're kind of forced to charge forward. So think kind of a mana where you're kind of forced to go forward. Except you have a lot more turn and control, and you can also hold backwards to go slower. But you're spinning around, rapidly slashing people with Excalibur, and then at the end you do one big final hit that does more damage. So if you get to the end of this charge, if you're able to stay on your target and don't get away, they're going to eat a pretty meaty hit.
And one of the cool things too with the 3B, the Blade Storm, is that you're actually, that final smash at the end, that final strike, is something we were actually building tech off of from Baron's ult. When Baron actually finishes his ult, he goes and he does this like resolve animation, and we were able to use that same tech to bring in like a kind of extra attack at the end of this otherwise firing device.
Awesome. We spoke about the ultimate a little bit, about 1 or 2 of them. Now, the energy generation is what we mentioned there. You get some energy from using the 3 ability, I believe. Do the other abilities give you energy
All
too?
the abilities give you energy. The one, I think, gives you about the most, if in just like a single instance. Right. The 3 standard and combo, if you land all the things, can give you a little bit more. But really, all of them are rewarding you with energy if you hit them. And then if you get enough energy, you can use the ultimate.
Is it based off which stance you're in, which ultimate you use, if you've got enough energy for both?
Nope.
Or is it just based off how much energy you have currently is the ability you're going to use?
Yep, it's currently how much energy you have. So if you're anywhere from 35 to 79, you will use the 4 standard. If you are, so that's Sundering Strike. If you are above at 80 or above, you will use Excalibur's Fury.
So we'll do Excalibur's Fury.
Oh, o sea, tiene 2 ultis al apoyo. Es la pura, la OP.
Boy, right there. That is a hell of a... It's like a mini Najero.
Yeah, so you charge forward, you isolate a target, and you bring them into the air, and you deal damage to them, so each slash...
Okay, es la de 30%, el otro fue más de 80%.
So the base damage is physical. The percent health focuses actually on their percent health, so this is technically true. And then at the end, you unleash one final big strike that launches them back to the ground, and that also does a percentage of their maximum health as true damage and another bit of physical damage. And because you can see an explosion at the end, if you hit potentially, I don't know, maybe like an Odin right there, and there's Odin's underneath, they all get hit. Yep, so get out from underneath.
Can you beads it like you could if you, like, because it's a combo thing?
Yeah, so one of the awesome things about this is at any point once you're up in the air, you can beads, and what it does is it actually triggers Arthur to go into the final smash of it. So you don't just fall out, but it causes him to resolve it faster.
So he's still going to do resolution damage of like the final strike and the damage down, but any additional hits you would have taken in the air would be cancelled because you've used your beads.
Exactly.
That's really cool tech. I like
that's something we've never done before. Where we actually have beads. The ability reacts to if you beads it or not, and changes how it behaves. It's like if you bring a Najotl and then they hit you with the first one, you hit beads, and then it's like, okay, I'll just land with you. That's kind of the same sort of thing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's the big ultimate. What's the baby ultimate about?
So the baby ultimate is really kind of an extender of his combos. For when you don't have enough energy and you can't go into the ultimate state. It's a little like short hop jab. So he winds up Excalibur, hops forward, and then jabs forward in a big area, and that stuns.
Okay.
So you can build up some energy and then kind of close the distance with the short hop, stun them, get back onto them. It's really there to enable you to chase targets effectively, or just if your abilities are down, you need to buy a little time. You can use that to stun them.
Is it like when he charges forward? It looks like he's got a projectile range on that. Does he have to connect with you?
He has to connect with you with any part of that hit area.
Oh, really? So
it's got pretty long range actually.
Oh, it's instant. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that ability was really designed as the combo extender. If you don't really want to go for the full ultimate, you've done an interesting like
1 standard into 2 combo into 3 standard, and now you want to hit follow with some more damage, you can throw the 4 in between. At one point we even had it lowering his cooldowns if you hit people, but we found that mostly unnecessary because his cooldowns ended up pretty low on its own, so we didn't really need cooldown resetting mechanics on top of everything else.
This god is amazing. I really love the beast tech that you're playing, by the way. Like the idea of the ultimate sounds amazing.
Bueno, la verdad es que en resumen, Arthur está rotísimo, va a estar muy duro. Espero poder subir un video de usándolo. Ya creo que ya está el PTS, ya lo probé, está muy duro. Y espero que se pueda hacer. Bueno, pásenlo chido, nos vemos en el día disponible. Voy a subir un video de usándolo, jugando con él claramente y explicando sus habilidades. Bueno, y nos vemos para la próxima. Y espero que hayan disfrutado de este video. Y bueno, ahorita en vacaciones ya voy a estar ocupadito, voy a trabajar, así que no va a haber tiempo de tantos vídeos y streams, así que nos vemos, cuídense, pásenla chido, felices fiestas y feliz año nuevo. Adiós. Denle like, suscríbanse y compartan. Pásenla chido. No tomen mucho. Bye. Cuídense.
There was no other way.
I don't feel so good.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Sorry.
Code Red.
Nick.
Bill.